When you finally reach Hampi, you'll invariably wonder how on earth such an exotic landscape got created. Well, there are many exciting explanations. Here are a couple of stories for you of Hampi's boulders. The first one is the geological explanation, and the second one is rooted in mythology and folklore. My favorite is the mythological narration. Let me start with the geological explanation first. Hampi's boulder-filled landscape is one of the oldest exposed surfaces anywhere on Earth. Unlike most of the mountain ranges, the boulder hills of Hampi were not formed as a result of volcanoes or by any uplift in the Earth's crust. These boulders were once part of gigantic granite monoliths. Tens of millions of years of erosion due to the natural elements like sun, rain, sandstones, flowing river etc. made the surface of these monoliths to crack, split, and eventually metamorphed into these forms. The pieces that lost balance in the process crumbled and formed the boulder heaps. The ones managed to balance like these somehow remained in curious forms, puzzling the spectators. Note the fault lines on these giant leaning boulders. They eventually gave way to a new formation. This process has been continuing for many million years. And those crumbled and rolled into the riverbed, got shaped up due to the flowing water. Everyone who visit Hampi often asks, how did they manage to stack up such giant boulders one over the other? The answer is simple. Nobody did it. Nature played the role of a sculptor. Years of natural erosion scooped out the missing portions from those giant granite monoliths, polished the sharp edges, made it look as if someone had shaped and stacked these boulders with precision. Now to my favorite story on the origin of Hampi's boulders and its sacredness. Hindu mythology and Hampi's folklore combined has spectacular narratives. These legends on Hampi and its landscape are far more dramatic and goes very well with the enigma of Hampi. Hampi is believed to be the erstwhile mythical monkey kingdom, Kishkindha. The antiquity of Hampi's happenings dates back to Treta Yuga, the second of the four yugas or eons of Indian chronology. This is the period of Ramayana, the epic that narrates the life of Lord Rama. There was a fierce power struggle going on between the princely brothers, Vali and Sugriva. Vali was very powerful, nobody could defeat him easily. He had a charm pendant from his father Indra, which could retain his life even after being seriously injured. In a pitched battle, Vali defeats Sugriva and chases him out of the kingdom. The frightened Sugriva took refuge here, at the Mathanga hill. This is the tallest hill in Hampi, named after the sage Mathanga. So, why did Sugriva take refuge here? Vali can't climb Mathanga hill due to a curse on him by sage Mathanga. In the meantime, Lord Rama, the king of Ayodhya along with his brother Lakshmana, reaches Kishkindha in search of his lost wife, Sita. At Kishkindha, Hanuman meets Rama and Lakshmana. Hanuman was a fierce warrior, the general of the monkey army, minister of Sugriva, and later became an ardent devotee of Lord Rama. Hanuman explains to Rama the happenings in Kishkindha, the rivalry between the princely brothers, and the plight of Sugriva. Rama expresses a desire to meet with Sugriva to hear his side of the story. During the conversation, Sugriva informs Rama that he had seen Ravana, the Asura king, took away Sita through the air in the Pushpaka Vimana, a flying chariot. Sugriva also shows Rama the jewelry that Sita had dropped during the flight, which he had found and hidden away in a cave. This cave by the riverside is popularly known as the Sugriva's cave. Hanuman set out on an expedition to Lanka, eventually finds a grieving Sita in Lanka. Returns to Kishkindha with news of Sita. Sugriva offers help of his monkey army to attack Lanka to free Sita. In return, Rama helps to kill Vali and regain the throne of the monkey kingdom with Sugriva. But, by the time the monsoon rain starts, making it impossible for the expedition to Lanka. Rama aimed at a hill and shoot an arrow to mark a suitable shelter place during the monsoon. The arrow falls on a boulder atop this hill a little away south of Tungabhadra. Back to the rivalry of Vali and Sugriva. The battle between Vali and Sugriva was so intense that boulders they threw at each other piled up all around Hampi. In another version of the story, the monkey army piled up the boulders in Hampi to build a bridge to Lanka. Rishimukh Hill, a popular spot among the backpackers known as the Hampi Island, is believed to be the place where Hanuman first met Rama and Lakshmana. You can cross this river Tungabhadra on a circular coracle to reach the Rishimukh and the foothills of Anjaneya Hill. Here stood an ancient bridge, made of granite blocks, connecting the two sacred landscapes. Even today, everyone wonders how they were able to build a bridge across this torrential part of Tungabhadra. You can also find these two pairs of footprints of Lord Rama and Lakshmana carved on the boulder by the riverside, signifying the holiness of the land by their arrival. This cave formed out of giants' boulders by the riverside is popularly known as the Sugriva's cave. According to the legends, this is where Sugriva hidden the fallen jewelry of Sita. This image on the two sides of a pillar depicts Hanuman negotiating with Ravana to free Sita. Note, Hanuman coiled his tails to sit at the same level of Ravana, the 10-headed king of Lanka. And his place south of Rishimukh is the place where Rama crowned Sugriva after killing Vali. This temple called Kodanda Rama temple stands at the left bank of Tungabhadra, just opposite to the Rishimukh. A little distance away from the riverside is the Anjaneya Hill, with the characteristic whitewashed stairs zigzagging through the boulders to the hilltop shrine. This place is believed to be the birthplace of Lord Hanuman. Legend says, this cleft on the boulder marks where Rama's arrow fallen, a vantage point in Hampi where they took shelter during the rainy season. Rama and Lakshmana stayed at a cave here till the monsoon rains are over, before marching to Lanka along with the army of Hanuman. This hill later came to be called Malyavanta Hill. In Kannada, the local dialect, this name literally indicates the arrival of rain. In short, Hampi, in mythological terms, had been a happening place and considered sacred. That explains why there are so many temples were built in this unusual landscape since time immemorial. In Hampi you will find endless mythical icons, art, life of people, etc. carved on the boulders. A popular saying is, in Hampi every stone has a story to tell. It is true. Every time you visit Hampi, you'll keep discovering more. And even more. Is not a place that you can visit and discover all the attractions in one go. By the way, of all these carvings, the Hanuman icons are my favorite and definitely steal the show. Download the Hampi map from the link. All the places shown in this video and many more are included in the map. This is a handy map to help you explore Hampi all by yourself.